Kevin Durant is playing this thing perfectly. There won't be a KD deal today. I'm not expecting a deal will be done today. The NBA Finals resumes tomorrow, which is also today. This video was made yesterday by Gambo. He said, I believe they may not want to do it. Maybe this comes down to Friday or Saturday or Sunday. I was adamant it will be this week, so I'll take it until the weekend, which is going to be very interesting. The problem is that you have all these different teams, the Spurs, the Rockets, the Timberwolves, the Miami Heat. They do not want to give up too much for Kevin Durant. But let's get into the video.
You can say it. What was that?
Yeah, there won't be a deal today.
Okay,
there will not be a deal today.
Okay, there you go. I'm glad we cleared that up.
Yeah, I'm not expecting a deal will be done today. I said this week.
Good night,
so
everybody. Good night. Thank you for listening to the Burns and Gambo Show. Good night.
Yeah, I don't expect the deal done today. The NBA Finals will resume tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow.
I believe.
I like
they
how
may not
you
want
asked
to
that
do
with
it.
a question mark.
I'm almost. I knew that, but so maybe this comes down Friday or Saturday or Sunday. I was pretty adamant that it'll be this week. So I'll take until the weekend.
The issue is the Rockets and the Spurs know they don't have to make a strong trade offer for Kevin Durant because they are on his preferred destination list. Now, that's per Windhorse. However, you have the Spurs and the Rockets where they have a great young core. They're not just going to give up everything for Kevin Durant when they're already successful as is. Think about it. The Spurs they literally have the 2 lottery picks and a loaded NBA draft. The Rockets, they were the 2nd seed. So there's no rush to blow up their roster. Would they like Kevin Durant? Of course. But they're not going to give up the farm. Same thing with the Timberwolves. They said it. They just went to the Western Conference Finals. Why on earth are we going to just uproot our fundamental pieces on our team for Kevin Durant? We would love KD, but not for Jaden McDaniels, not for Rudy Gobert. They're not going to give up everything for that. Same thing with the Miami Heat. They want Khalil Ware. Why? Let's try to bring another team in to make a fundamental deal to where you do get your big man. Let's get into what Windhorse had to say.
About the triangle, the Durant triangle. You have to get a place Durant wants. You have to get a deal that the Suns are going to be happy with. And there has to be an agreement on the contract, whether or not the team is happy with taking Durant on a 1-year deal or whether they want to give him an extension. That is hard to put together. Yeah, it's hard to get that together. And so if you can't get that by the draft, and you're not going to be rushed into a deal. So I think the Suns are still sorting through their options. And frankly, if Durant is still going to, posture that he would not want to be somewhere, I'm not sure they're going to get their best offer because a team like Houston or San Antonio knows they don't have to make a competitive offer because they know it's not an open market. So this is going to be very hard to execute a trade.
You have Ashley Nicole Moss on the Kevin Durant trade rumors. She said Kevin Durant is still one of the best players we've ever seen, but the Phoenix Suns, rightfully so, are going to want a lot in return. Any team he goes to will look drastically different than the team we know now. Is it worth it? I think it's worth it. But then at the same time, they have to be realistic about Kevin Durant. He's 37 years old. If he was 30 years old, this is a totally different conversation. They were the ones who messed up their team. The Phoenix Suns are the ones with the $400 million payroll. The Phoenix Suns are the ones who went out to go get Bradley Beal with that terrible no-trade clause. That's their problem. At the end of the day, they were trying to backdoor trade Kevin Durant at the trade deadline. When you're 37 years old on an expiring deal, there's no team in the NBA. We don't care who it is. It doesn't matter that he's a future Hall of Famer. He's 37 years old now. You're taking the risk knowing that he could have injury. You're taking the risk knowing that you're going to have to give him $100+ million. It's not that easy. And you want the other team to give up everything they have. You want the farm. You want the haul. We have to be realistic when it comes to this Kevin Durant deal. Let's get into what she had to say.
Durant is still Kevin Durant. All right, one of the best players we've ever seen, one of the best players currently in the league. I will stand on that.
Like
but
how? Like top 10 players still, you think? Top 15? Where is
top 15 for sure. I could even make an argument for top 10, depending on what someone's top 10 list look like. But I would easily say top 15. I mean, when Kevin Durant is playing basketball, the league's better, and he still is one of the best, like I said, in the NBA. But here's the reality of the situation: he's going to be 37 years old in September. And when you talk about a player who comes with a hefty price tag, like Kevin Durant and is going to require a haul of whatever team he is traded to, you have to make some choices if you are in that front office. If you are Houston, who was just number 2 in the Western Conference, are you blowing up a young team for a 37-year-old Kevin Durant?
We have 2 trade options right now for the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat are expected to show interest in DeRozan if they don't land Kevin Durant. The Kings have been telling agents there's a high possibility they could pick early in the 20s. Miami owns the 20th pick. First of all, we are not giving up a first-round pick for DeRozan. My thing about DeRozan is obviously he didn't show up in the playoffs, but I think he's a good regular season player where he's going to get you buckets and take pressure off Tyler Hero. To be honest, I think we could still get Kevin Durant and then have a guy like DeRozan come off the bench if we can swap him, especially get Terry Rozier off this team. So send Terry, to the Kings and then allow us to get him back. I just think that would be huge for the Miami Heat. Per Jake Fisher, maybe Miami would make a sign-and-trade run at Jonathan Kuminga in the event that the Heat don't win the trade race to acquire Kevin Durant. Sources say Miami has registered a level of interest in Jonathan Kuminga. My thing is, why couldn't we get him in the Jimmy Butler deal? First of all, he's not going to get this $300 million or $200 million contract that he wants. Okay, he's going to have to give us that prove-it deal. I still think he's very talented, but it's a trio of Kuminga, Bam, and Tyler. How far does that really get you? That's my thing. What does that really look like? But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Hit that subscribe button, and thank you for all the support.